And the eighth and final reason we find in verse 18. For in that he himself hath suffered being tempted, he is able to help them that are tempted. God can't be tempted, can he? We read that in James 1:13. God can't be put to the test, can he? We read that in Deuteronomy 6 verse 16 and Matthew 4 verse 7. And yet Jesus was both tempted and put to the test. The Son of God was both tempted and put to the test. And for that to happen, he had to become flesh and blood. Then, and only then, not only could Jesus be tempted, but he could fully identify with us in our temptations and trials. Now, that doesn't mean to say that Jesus identifies himself with our sin, because he is the sinless Son of God, isn't he? On the Mount of Temptation, Satan tempted Jesus to break the law. Jesus' temptation came from without. It came from Satan. But our temptation comes from within us. It comes from that sin nature that's inherent in every single one of us. However, because Christ understands the nature of temptation, he can identify with us when we are tempted. And it's worth remembering that Jesus, whilst not having a fallen sin nature, Jesus actually lived in a corruptible body. And therefore he was subject to the same sufferings that we are. As a result, Christ is a sympathetic, compassionate, merciful, and faithful high priest. But his sympathies related to our suffering and not our sin. We're constantly being tempted, aren't we? We're constantly being buffeted by the world's values. And submission to sin is waiting around every corner for each and every one of us. And if we're not watchful, we will succumb.